So in this lecture, we're just going to get started by installing Unreal Engine and downloading the starter project that has some of the assets that you saw in the previous video. We're just going to open up the project and take a look around. But first, we need to install Unreal Engine. So let's get started. So to download Unreal Engine, you simply need to go to unrealengine.com. Of course, a link will be in the resources for this video, and you're going to need to have an Epic Games account. Now, it's free to create an Epic Games account. All you have to do is go up to the top right. If I sign out, then you'll see that I now have this sign in option, and if I click that, I'm given many different ways to sign in, many options, and down here, there's this little sign up option down here at the bottom. You can click that and follow the instructions for creating an Epic Games account. Now, once you have an Epic Games account, you can sign in using that account. So you'll need to use an email address and a password, and remember these. And once you've logged in, then you'll now be signed in to your Epic Games account. And now you can download Unreal Engine. So you're going to click the download icon. And of course, there are a couple of options. So you could take a look at the features available for each option. We see that a creator's license has no royalties and a publishing license if you plan on actually publishing a game. But it doesn't matter which one you choose while you're learning. You're not going to be asked for any credit card information or anything like that. You can simply download the engine and start using it. So I'm just going to click download now. And once your download is finished, you'll have the Epic installer, which you can then run and follow all of the instructions. They're standard instructions for installing some software. We don't need to go over that. But once you're finished, you will have the Epic Games Launcher. Now, this is the Epic Games Launcher. This is how you can download various versions of Unreal Engine. And you do so by making sure you're on the Unreal Engine section down at the bottom of this leftmost column. If you have this selected, you can then go to your library. And this is where you have various different versions of Unreal Engine installed. Now, if this is your first time, you won't see any of these. You'll have to click plus and install a new version of Unreal Engine. And if you click the drop-down next to this number here, this is the version number, then you can select which version of Unreal Engine you would like to install. Now, we're going to be using Unreal Engine 5. Now, it says Early Access 2 here. That's the current version at the time of recording this video. But you're going to install the latest version of Unreal Engine 5. Whatever's the latest version available, that's what you're going to choose. Now, when you're watching this video, if the latest version is Unreal Engine Preview 1, I highly recommend that you use Early Access 2 instead. Unreal Engine 5 Preview 1 is very buggy, and you may have some negative experiences, such as opening your project and your assets are missing. So Early Access 2 is a bit more stable, so I recommend that you do not use Preview 1 for this course. Instead, use Early Access 2. And you're going to click Install. It's going to say Install right here. Now give it some time to install, and once you're finished, then you can close the Epic Games Launcher, and you're done with this step. Now to download the starting project, you're going to get it from the resources right here in the Getting Started lecture. So if you click on the drop-down that says Resources, we have several resources for this lecture. Now, if you're using Unreal Engine 5, you're going to download startingproject.zip. Now, you can follow along in Unreal Engine 4. If you're using Unreal Engine 4.26, then download UE426.zip. And if you're using Unreal Engine 4.27, download UE427.zip. Okay, so once we've downloaded the project and placed it somewhere on our computer where we can find it, we'll see that we have this firstpersonshooter.u project, and this is the actual Unreal Engine project. Now, there are some associated folders that the project needs, so we're not going to want to remove those, and you don't have a gitignore on yours because this is what I'm using to manage source control for this project. That allows me to place this project on GitLab so that people can download and see the project at various stages throughout the course. Now, once we open the project by double-clicking the .u project file, you may see a pop-up asking you which version of Unreal Engine you'd like to use, in which case you'll simply choose 5.0 because we're using Unreal Engine 5. So I'm going to open the .u project. And here we see this blank level. We have a sky and a floor and several other objects, but for the most part, it's pretty empty. When you open your project, if this is what you see, then this means you are using the latest version of Unreal Engine, which has upgraded that level with the gray platform to this desert scene. So you may see this, but you should still have all of the content in the project that is included, including the gun, as well as our character's arms and things like that. Now, we can pull up the content drawer by clicking down here on Content Drawer at the bottom left, and we see the content browser. And notice if I click in the viewport, it goes away, but I can always bring it back, and Control Space will show or hide the content drawer. Now, if you'd like this to stay here, you can click Dock in Layout, and we'll have the Content Browser tab, and here is where all the files in our project will be. Now, notice we have an Assets folder. If we click on that, we can see several folders here, and I can even expand the dropdown and see them in a hierarchical view on the left. And in here, we have some assets provided to us by Sidearm Studios. Now, if I double-click on the gun folder, we see several folders and assets associated with the gun asset that we'll be using, and this is a skeletal mesh. I can double-click this skeletal mesh asset, and I now have the skeletal mesh editor open, and here is the gun that we'll be using throughout this course. So we have some assets in here, but for the most part, our level is pretty empty. So in the next video, we're going to learn how we can get more assets from the Epic Games Marketplace, and many of those assets are free, so we can get lots of great content without spending any money. Now, Sidearm Studios has generously given us permission to use some of their assets in our student projects. The gun, the arms, the animations, as well as some of the effects in our project come from Sidearm Studios. And if you want to use them in something you publish and sell, then you'll need to buy the asset pack. Now, you can get these assets in packs in the Epic Games launcher by going to the Marketplace tab. And you can look for Sidearm Studios here. Sidearm Studios has lots of different asset packs to choose from, and you can buy the full asset pack that includes the arms, the gun, the animation, sound effects, visual effects, and you can even buy the sound effects and the visual effects separately, so check those out, as well as their other asset packs because they make some amazing stuff. So as just a little mini challenge, I'm going to task you with checking out the project, browse through the assets, look into the different folders, and look at the meshes, look at the textures, look at the particle systems if you can find them. If not, that's fine. We'll be walking through how to use these assets every step of the way throughout this course, but take a look and see what you can find and start to get some ideas for ways that you think we'll be using these assets and how you'd like to use them to make this game. So go ahead, pause the video, and browse through the assets in this project and see what you can find. So in summary, in this video, we installed Unreal Engine, we got that Epic Games launcher, and made sure that we had Unreal Engine 5 on our machine, and then we downloaded the starting project. So I hope you're getting excited because we're going to make a really cool game project, and you're going to learn a ton of things about Unreal Engine and blueprints in this course. So in the next video, we're going to open the Epic Games Marketplace, and I'll show you how to get lots of free content that we can use for our project. So I'll see you soon.